Hey guys, I was hoping that by this time I would be able to tell you that I was going into surgery. I'm not, not for the time being. Um, they've taken some more scans, MRI, PET scan, CT scan. Um, for those who don't know, I had colorectal cancer that metastasized or moved into my liver. Now, the tumor in the colon more or less seems to be taken care of. They didn't see it on a biopsy or anything like that, so hooray for modern medicine. But the tumor in my liver is proving a lot more problematic. The idea is to shrink it down and then cut out kind of a lot of the liver, and the rest of it will grow back to an extent. Unfortunately, the tumor is like right in the middle of the liver. It's very close to some branching veins, so that's a concern. There's also a concern that because it's basically in the middle, that they would have to, at this stage, cut out so much that it might not leave a whole lot left for it to grow back and function, which could lead to liver failure, which is fatal. And there's a bit of irony here that, I'm doing workouts at this point. I've gained weight. I step on the scales at the doctor's office and I'm 160 pounds. That's pretty good. I was down to like 110 pounds at one point. So there are many metrics that are showing that I'm doing better. My energy levels are actually better than I was at this time last year, because I wasn't diagnosed last year and they weren't doing anything about it. I had anemia, I was hypoglycemic. That's no longer the case. But unfortunately, this liver tumor is being stubborn, and my oncologist is actually a little concerned that maybe the chemo isn't going to shrink it down a whole lot more. The thing about all forms of cancer, as I've learned through this experience, is that they are very adaptable. They mutate and reproduce very quickly. So unfortunately, it's entirely possible that the cancer will adapt to the chemo treatment that I've been getting since late January, early February. And if it adapts to it, it's not going to shrink down anymore. And I'm not sure what things are going to look like after that. The liver surgeon said that they have a few options. They can try to increase the growth of the liver on the side that they're not going to cut out. And they're talking about these radiation beads. It sounds like it's something that they might be able to inject on top of the tumor and maybe try to shrink it down that way. But these things probably aren't high percentage because they're not looking at those things yet. So, I don't know. Like I said, I'm sort of in this ironic position because, all signs are saying I'm getting better. But also I'm facing the possibility of liver failure or the tumor stops responding, and I'm not sure what's going to happen. So that's the update for that. Also got 3 new books. I keep trying to not get any more books, but they keep coming up with good stuff. The first was sent to me by my buddy Ian. Maybe I'll get a chance to interview him for this channel someday. He's a black belt in both judo and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He's teaching out on the West Coast at this time. But there was a time, we were training together. We cornered one another for each other's amateur MMA fights. So I sent him a wish list when he started sending me books. This is Yabu, Untold Journey of an Okinawan Man. And this is a biography by Thomas Feldman. I did a review of his biography of Anko Itosu. That might have been my longest review yet. It was like 20 minutes long. But I like the work Mr. Feldman puts out. Mr. Yabu was one of the people who was instrumental in introducing Okinawa karate to the Okinawan school system. So, looking to get into that. The Mind is the Final Weapon by Dmitry Samoylov. Pardon me, Mr. Samoylov. A scientific view of the Fairbairn system. The thing is, this is about as complete a self-defense book as I may have ever found. The physical side of self-defense doesn't even encompass a whole lot in this book. He's got a chapter on empty hand work and a chapter on stick work. A little bit of knife stuff. But a lot of what he's got is on principles, for instance. He's got an entire chapter on balance. He's got an entire chapter in the OODA loop, which is the decision-making tree. Observation, orientation, decision, and action. He's got an entire chapter on the predator-prey relationship. All this stuff is essential for self-defense. And even the technical section, he goes over the purpose of the techniques, the historical background of it, the possible origin, and the martial arts nerd in me just loves that stuff. So really looking forward to this. Because it covers Fairbairn, I'm a little tempted to put it in the military combative section, but based on everything else that he's covering, I think it's probably going to go in the self-defense section of my library. And finally, Judo Book of Methods by Steve Scott. If you may have found Mr. Scott on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Anchorhand, for instance. These are reproductions of the posts that he makes on those social media sites. Mr. Scott covers a lot of principles when it comes to judo, as well as the techniques. I'm not sure this is one that's necessarily a cover-to-cover sort of read. It might have to jump around a little bit. But I have several of Mr. Scott's other books, and I really enjoy those, so I'm also looking forward to getting into this one. So that's what I have. I have a book review that's in the process of editing, so maybe I'll get to that next week. And that's on, I think I have it still out here, Jeet Kune Do Volume 2. So this is going to be the next book review I'm going to put out. Of course, I'm still in the process of creating book reviews for Shaolin Chin Na by Dr. Yang Jwing Ming, the Karate for Mental Health book by Les Bubka. That one's going to be interesting because that one mostly consists of interviews. So instead of being like a guidebook, it's in a different format than what I'm used to. And a viewer recently reminded me that I promised to do the Ed Parker's Infinite Insights into Kempo series, and I'm still stuck on book 1 of that. But it is progressing. My hope was I would be able to go into surgery, and that's going to stick me in the hospital for a week, and I'd be stuck there with nothing to do but read these books. But yeah, we'll see. So that's what you guys have to look forward to, and that's what I'm dealing with right now. And thanks for following, and I'll see you later.